How's it going, Pointer people, and welcome to another episode of What's the Point? I'm today's host, Nathan Wegner, and today we have the President and Vice President of PRSSA, Abby Maliszewski, and Cole Verbeten. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
It's good. Happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
I'm glad to hear it. So first off, how about you give me a brief description of PRSSA?
Yeah, so PRSSA is mostly a pre-professional organization where students who are interested in communication or business can come and kind of hear from speakers in their industries and also work on professional development stuff like resumes, networking, and interview skills.
All right, awesome. That's always some useful skills for people to have. So what drew you to wanting to be a part of the club initially?
Well, mine's kind of a funny story. I became friends with Abby my sophomore year, and Abby kind of not dragged me into it, but she's like, hey, you should really join this. You know, you're a marketing major, which I eventually changed to comm. And so I got involved with it, and I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, mine's kind of a similar story. I know mine was more with my advisor as a freshman. She said as a PR major, like if I didn't join PRSSA, it would be my worst mistake. So definitely went to a meeting after she said that.
All right, the advisor's really throwing down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it worked out for both of you.
Definitely.
For sure.
All right, that's awesome. So can you tell me, as your duties for President and Vice President, what do you do as part of the organization?
Yeah, so as president, I'm not only in charge of delegating what happens with the other executive board members, but I also plan all of our meetings. So in years past, we've had weekly meetings in person where we bring in speakers from different industries. But now we've had bi-weekly meetings. Just with COVID, we didn't want to give people that Zoom fatigue. So we've had bi-weekly meetings on Zoom where we bring in speakers. This year it's been kind of nice because we've been able to bring in speakers from any location, not just like the Stevens Point or Central Wisconsin area. We've been able to bring people in. We had someone from the LA Kings team come talk to us, Chicago Cubs, stuff like that. So I'm mostly in charge of planning the meetings and then delegation of the other executive board members.
Yeah, and then as Vice President, my role kind of mostly consists of planning all of our field trips per se. So as Vice President, I plan trips to different PR companies or PR departments within companies. So for example, last year when the pandemic wasn't a thing, we went to Minneapolis and we met with the PR agency Lola Red, and they worked with some athletes and stuff like that in Minneapolis. And then after that, we went to the Mall of America and talked to their PR department there. And then after, we always do something kind of fun. So after that, in the Minneapolis trip, we just stayed at the Mall of America and kind of went shopping, did our own thing there. We did a similar thing with the Green Bay Gamblers in Green Bay as well.
Sounds really awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. So I assume during the COVID era, you haven't really been able to plan trips as much, but do you expect, as we're kind of approaching the end of that, how do you see the organization changing? You mentioned you're doing Zoom meetings now where you get to talk to people you may not get to otherwise. Is that something you're going to pursue in the future? What are you looking for in the future?
Yeah, I think definitely in the future, at least looking forward to next year, we want to have a healthy mix of the Zoom meetings with the in-person meetings, just because it has been nice to kind of get that outside perspective. I know not a lot of students, at least in PRSSA or in the PR industry, want to stay in a small town like Stevens Point, so it's been nice to get some of those either professional sports team or those larger PR industries to come in and talk to us. I also think with at least hopefully the pandemic calming down, we'll be able to travel again. I know that we usually have an international conference each year that we weren't able to go to this year, but they're still planning on having it for next year. So fingers crossed. It's in Orlando, so definitely want to attend that.
Yeah, for sure. Orlando, definitely the place to be. I can imagine there's a lot of cool PR opportunities there. So thanks so much for your answers so far. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to learn a bit more about a normal day in PRSSA, and then play a game that's going to test our abilities to stay calm and collected.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
It's a university where professors know your name and get you involved in research.
They inspire us to realize big dreams.
At UW-Stevens Point, sustainability is what we stand for.
Our beautiful campus encourages exploration, developing new fields, and problem solving for the real world.
It's a great place to launch your career.
UW-Stevens Point is home.
Apply today at uwsp.edu.
And welcome back. So let's get right into it. What would you say is a normal day like for PRSSA?
Well, I'd say that really depends on your position. I know for me, a lot of it is answering emails, whether it's from students who are interested in the organization, potential speakers I've reached out to, some other professionals who might be looking to get in contact with some students, looking for potential interns or potential full-time employees upon graduation. So it's definitely answering a lot of emails, and then also kind of just making sure we stay in touch with what's going on, especially in the PR industry. So always being on social media, knowing what's going on, so that way if something does happen, we can be on top of it.
Right, and then mine's kind of the same thing, but answering more questions with and talking to different potential companies and other PR agencies to kind of plan out our field trips, because we do, in the non-pandemic year, we do once every month. So that's usually my daily thing in PRSSA.
All right. Sounds like you keep your hands full pretty well at the organization. Does it ever feel too stressful or overwhelming with everything you have to keep track of?
I would say Cole and I are kind of the people who are involved in a lot of things. So we found a way with time management to put aside time for PRSSA and make sure we're getting our duties done. I think, especially this year, the executive board has done a good job at holding each other accountable. So if we're not getting something done, kind of checking in and being like, hey, do you need help with this? Or, you know, you said you would get it done, it's not done yet. So I think just having an executive board that's open with each other has been really helpful for us.
Yeah, that's always great to have in any organization, just having that openness to make sure you're all keeping on track, but also being friendly about it. That's really great. So let's take a quick break from the questions. We're going to play a What's the Point classic game. This one is called Read It and Weep. So the way this is going to work is we're going to present each of you with a news story that's been created specifically for today. So if you stumble on your words or break your demeanor as you're reading it, you're going to be hit with a swift blast from the water gun. Abby, if you want to grab that from under the desk. So try and read this as best you can, like a professional news person would. Are you ready to get going?
Sure.
All right. Since Abby has the gun, Cole, do you want to start?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Breaking news, an odd display took place at the Point Motel on Division Street last Thursday. Locals say that a resident shouted to people passing by he was about to take the slit sheet challenge for his YouTube channel. Naturally, as soon as he said challenge, most lost interest in the display, but a few stopped to watch as the resident dragged his bed out into the lot and cut the sheet on top of the mattress. When asked what he was doing, he responded, "Yo, this is it lit fit. I'm coming at you with the slit sheet challenge." Basically put, I slit the sheet I slit, and on the slitted sheet I sit. Police and doctors have described the misguided resident as a clout chaser and will be tended to accordingly.
The TikTok challenge.
All right.
TikTok challenge has hope.
All right, good start. We'll switch it off. The gun is being handed over to Cole. And now, Abby, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, just whenever you're ready, you can start reading.
Okay, last Black Friday, a fight broke out at the International Mall between two people who really wanted wristwatches. While names are unclear at the time, sources say that a Swiss and an Irishman were fighting over a wristwatch of differing nationalities. Mall staff said, quote, "The Irish wished for a Swiss wristwatch while the Swiss wished for an Irish wristwatch. As confusing as the story sounds, we will be watching the situation for any developments."
All right, good stuff. Good stuff.
That was good.
Yeah, I only had just the one little stumble there. That was really good. All right, we got two more stories, one each for you. Cole, you ready to go once again?
Sure.
All right, whenever you're ready, start reading.
All right. A man came into the hospital the other day screaming about how a Snapchat filter made him stupid. The man told the authorities he used a filter that guessed his age, but when the app guessed below his age, he, quote, lost his ever-loving mind. Doctors prescribed this aversion to stupidity, and the stupid superstition starts by selecting susceptible suspects and sucking out their subconsciousness, making them think they are stupider than before. While there is no say on how stupid superstition occurs, officials say there is no reason to panic over the stupid superstition.
That was really good. I was losing it as you were reading it. I don't think I could have done as well as you did. Okay. All right, we got one more story. Abby, you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Whenever you're ready, story 4.
On the bright side, we have a report of 11 elephants going into a poor neighborhood dispensing essential items like water and clothes. These 11 benevolent elephants seem to be trained by no one, but their message was indeed powerful. The 11 benevolent elephants, dubbed by the locals as the Benevolent Elephant 11, spent the whole day helping the community, and the locals were more than happy to have them, or to help them out.
That was amazing. You both did a really great job with that. Did you have fun?
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. It was definitely fun to listen to you both read through those stories. Big shout out to Ryan, too, our entertainment producer, for writing those amazing stories for you to read.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our last break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk a bit. We're going to ask one more question, and then, of course, the big question for you, too. So be sure to stay tuned.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV, mic check, audio check, news directors adjusting the sound, teleprompter running smoothly. Floor director, alert! Cameras are rolling, bring in the talent. Where's the makeup artist? Anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap. Lights out.
All right, welcome back. So I've got two more questions for you. One of them, it's very simple. What is your favorite part of being the president and vice president of PRSSA?
I would say my favorite part of being president is not only getting to connect with students. I know a lot of times, especially during a normal academic year, we're out in classes talking to either freshmen or sophomores in those like lower level classes or the intro classes. We're at the involvement fairs, all the different stuff, getting to meet students. So that's definitely been a great opportunity for me. But I also love meeting professionals. So whether it's the professionals we bring in to the meetings or at other conferences that we attend, definitely getting those contacts and kind of getting a foot in the door with potential people that you might work with one day has been definitely my favorite part.
Yeah, I would kind of have to say kind of the same thing as Abby. Mine has been just all of the connections that I've made, definitely on campus and even around in the industry. Working with all of those professionals to get tours to companies has been definitely super fun. And then just with connections on campus, I've definitely made a lot of good friends and a lot of good memories just being a part of PRSSA.
Sounds like a really great place to be. So, kind of leading into that, the big question, the name of the show, what's the point of PRSSA?
Well, I would say the point of PRSSA is really to get students ready for that after college career. So you've never heard a professional or an employer say, man, I wish they had been less good at communication. Communication is the top skill, whether it's written, oral, really any of that. So being able to help students with those through, like I said, resume workshops or networking workshops or having professionals come in and talk about classes they've taken, stuff that they've done in the career that students should be doing, really gets students prepared to graduate and to look for jobs afterwards. So I would say if you're looking to land a job post-graduation and to be confident that you're ready, PRSSA is the place to be.
Right, I would add on to that and say, even though I'm not a PR major anymore, it has definitely helped me with all of my communication skills and just general PR basics, and having taken classes in that and being in PRSSA can be helpful in any kind of job in general. And like Abby said, your basic communication skills, no one's ever going to say, dang, they are too good at communicating.
Yeah, it never hurts to work on your communication skills. You can always make sure that you're communicating things well. Well, that's really awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was great to have you both here. If people are interested in finding out more about PRSSA or want to reach out to you, where can they find you online and offline?
Well, offline, we have an office in the DUC, number 70G in the basement. It's pretty cool, so come check us out there. Online, since we are the PRSSA, the PR club on campus, we are on every social media. So you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. It's usually at UWSP PRSSA, but Instagram has an underscore in between UWSP and PRSSA. So you can find us there.
All right. Well, thank you once again for coming on the show, and thank you all for watching this episode of What's the Point. If you want more SPTV content, be sure to check out our YouTube channel and check us out on social media. And once again, if you're interested in PRSSA, be sure to check them out as well. This has been Nathan Wegner with What's the Point.